Hey everyone, I hope I'll start that again. Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to day 6 of week 1 of the week 1 of 5 of the strength phase. So this workout started out with some snatch triples, which I actually did with no straps for any of them, which is a really surprising thing for me. I was surprised that my hands didn't hurt really bad, but I was able to do them. Only issue I had was on my last set. I took off my tape because whenever I use thumb tape, it's always the tape always works fine, but it's always my sweat underneath that makes the tape loose, and then I end up having to like redo the tape or just take it off. So I just took it off for the last set. So my thumbs got a little achy after that, but the first set was at 85 kilos, then went up to 90, and then went up to 95, and they all moved pretty well. I was just really surprised I was able to do the 3 reps without really having to worry too much about them, and have a good grip for all of them as far as not having straps on. But I actually even did triples on the way up, so I'm surprised with that. Usually I just throw straps on and not even have to worry about grip at all, but I wanted to do some hook stuff, so just keep working on that kind of thing. But after I did these snatch triples, went over to do some hang cleans. They're supposed to be blocks, but I was at the gym obviously, so I don't have blocks, so I did high hang, or it was clean pull plus high hang clean and 2 jerks, and actually said clean, so I didn't try to power them. I just rode the clean all the way down, which made them significantly easier than the powers. And it was only 1 clean, so I didn't have to worry about trying to mess around with straps, so that was nice as well. Jerks and everything felt really good after the first set. So all of these made me bump up a little bit, but I just went up 5 kilos for each one just because they were feeling pretty easy for the snatches. And then for the clean jerks, the first set was at 100, and it bumped me up just I don't know what, to like 102 or some little jump like that. So I just went to 110 just because it was feeling super easy and it wasn't anything I was that stressed about doing. After that, I had front squats, which started out with 115, went up to 126. Let me pull it up here so I can have the correct numbers. You'll see it on the screen, the exact ones that I did, but just so I have it for myself as a reference. Went to 115, went up to 121 to 127, and then the last set was at 140, which 140 wasn't that difficult. It just wasn't one where I wanted to put the 5R IR, because I don't think it was. I definitely slowed down a little bit, but I probably could have done a couple more. The 3, I think, would have been the maximum I could have done past then, but a set of 8 at 140 is pretty good for me, especially because I'm bad at front squat reps in general, which is hard to tell with how well I've been doing all these reps, but they're pretty light so far. So that was the 95. I am taking my good old time with these, but I wanted to show you how much time I took in between. Without straps, I definitely take more time, but I've never done CrossFit, so I don't know how to do the connected reps, and nor do I really want to put my hands through the ringer of trying to do like CrossFit reps where you're just kind of connected the whole time, and would rather take my time to do better reps than to speed through them. I was a little unbalanced on this last one here, but it is what it is. Good work with that so far. And then these were the clean and jerk stuff. These were all really easy to do. All the clean and jerks have been super easy this first week, so there hasn't been anything really too crazy with those. After I did the front squats, I had clean pulls, which it doesn't have a lot of the variability that it has with front squats, where if I put that, it's really easy, or like it doesn't have any of the reps in reserve, which is, I think, is something that there should be, because someone like me who's deadlifted 302 before in kilograms, so it's at 665 at least once, and then has deadlifted over 600 a bunch of times. My pulls are always very, very easy, so it's something I don't know how the philosophy of the system goes, but it's always something I've looked at when looking at different programs and stuff, is how it accounts for pulling strength. If it's like mine, that's very disproportionate to my other strength numbers, or I guess it's relatively similar to it's proportional to my back squats if I were just like a strict power lifter. But I do think my pulls are something to account for in programming, but it is kind of an anomaly to have a 300 kilogram pull, or at least have done it once. I've done 275 or 270 kilo plus pulls all the time, but I've only done the 302 once, and somehow did it without a belt. I don't actually understand how that day worked, but it is what it is with that sort of thing. So these are the front squats now, and just like I mentioned before, I'm using a RIR is kind of like the RPE. If I'm doing these connected, in the sense that I'm going up and down, I'm not pausing in between, and I'm moving at the same speed for all of them, or at least I don't feel like I'm slowing down during them, and that's more of just like a personal perception during the set, because I may physically be slowing down, but as long as I don't feel like I'm slowing down, then I know I'm not grinding too much. It's kind of a very subjective thing, but it tends to be a very accurate thing for me over these years. This was the last set with 140. At the end of this workout, I had just the pulls that I mentioned that will be coming up here in a second, but then I had some side planks which I didn't record because just like some of the accessory work just feels weird to just sit there and record, but I did do them, so those existed. But I now want to break this portion up into a little bit of a preview for the second week of workouts. So once this clip here ends, you'll see a little video of the week 2 preview. So hopefully you enjoyed that part as well. Alright, so for second part of this week 1 conclusion video, or day 6, so the last workout of the week, I want to do a little preview of the next week since that popped up today. So this is what you're seeing of week 1. So we'll go over to week 2 and kind of look at the general workouts. I'll talk through day 1, but I won't go into specific detail of each one. I'll just kind of talk about in generalities and kind of go through different things. But you can see the intensity is definitely up from the first week with that 78%. It starts with 101. I haven't played around with it yet, but I assume that if I'm putting 3 white lights, it will have the same kind of behavior as last week and add some weight to those. And then these are actually very interesting. So power clean plus jerk with 129. So obviously I'll be using 130, but with the previous workout earlier in the week where I had power clean plus 2 jerks, I did miss a power and had to do a full clean with 130 the second time I had it. So these should be quite interesting if I'm able to actually do the power on all 3 of them. I'm pretty darn confident with the jerks. I'm not really sure why, but my jerks have been feeling really good as of late. Even before I started this programming, they've been kind of clicking, so it's just kind of a continuation of that concept. But this is a change as well with back squats, where it's up to 191 kilograms for a 3x3. So I would assume that if I'm putting that those are super easy, it might increase the weight or the reps or sets or something a little bit with those, and I have no idea how those will feel. The weight looks kind of heavy just looking at it right now, but who knows. Then I have hip thrust. This is the machine that I used before, so I don't know if I'll do a different one or do the same one. And since I'll most likely be going to the gym when I do this workout on Monday, I'll actually be able to do some glute ham raises as well, since one of the benefits of a powerlifting gym is they have all of that kind of west side stuff. And we'll go to the day 2, where you'll see some clean and jerk complex stuff, some front squats, some clean pulls, some push press, and all that stuff. Nothing too heavy with the clean and jerks, just 100. And then the front squats, all about what I'll do is probably 140. And then clean pulls are just basic 170, 170 kilogram pulls, which those should be pretty easy. Push press, 95. So those will probably go up as well, as I'm putting more reps in reserve for those. 95 kilograms is pretty light, so it definitely should go up a little bit. Then a little V-up action. More snatch, push, plus overhead squat, which is good for me to do, and that's only at 80. But then, like a lot of these, as you notice throughout these workouts, the weight goes up a little bit if you're saying that they're easy, which is a really good thing. And then power clean plus jerk. So I'll be curious to see how this workout behaves based on the previous one earlier in the week, if that one pushes me a little bit harder or if it's meant to hold me back a little bit. 82%. So this is the highest intensity we've had so far with the day 4. The front squat doubles with 155, which should be pretty difficult. I definitely don't think I'll be getting to 5 reps in reserve, but you never know. If they feel really easy, then I'll definitely push myself on those. I believe I did a double with 175 or 170 before I started the program, which for me, like front squat double is very difficult to do with heavier weights. But who knows? Front squats have been going really well, so who knows how that will work. So push presses, these are pretty heavy with 107, so those should be some pretty challenging triples. Then glute ham raise, chin raise, I won't bother going through those. Those are just accessories. Let's move to more snatch, push press, and snatch balances. So the program, or the AI, is really identifying that I have complete booty cheek shoulders, which is very true. My shoulders are complete garbanzo, so that's a very smart thing for it to identify. And snatch, push, plus balances are things I hate doing, which is probably a good reason that it's making me do them. Then more like clean and jerk complex stuff. Nothing too crazy with that. I'm definitely glad there's only one clean in those because I hate using straps on cleans. And then some accessory work with that. The last day of the week is pretty low intensity, probably the lowest of the week, I think, but it has some snatches at 88 kilograms, so that'll probably get close to 100 with those triples, assuming they went how they went today. Some block clean above the knee, or pull plus clean plus jerk. If I'm at the gym, then obviously those will just be from the hang. I actually haven't done cleans from the block, even though it's been on the program a couple times, just based on the different times I've gone to the gym. I don't really think it's too big of a deal not to do them because I pretty equally hate hangs above the knee as I do block above the knee. So I don't think it's me avoiding them. It's just more of a convenience thing if I'm at the gym. Obviously, I'm not going to use the power rack safety thing, so try to do high ones when I can just do hangs. Then some squats at 170, so those should be pretty easy. Just some, looks like a 4x4, so those may add some stuff. And then the first snatch pulls of the program, which those are pretty heavy, up to 147. So I'll be doing 150, 150 with those. So those should be not super quick pulls, but they should be pretty manageable. That will be the end of the week one. Another thing that I wanted to show that I was looking at earlier today, go to the analytics, if I can say that word. And I apologize if this part's getting a bit drawn out, but I found this part really interesting. Like compliance is 85% just because I haven't done the Monday's workout. I've noticed that it's always like a day ahead of where I'm actually at as far as the workout I've completed, so I'm not too worried about that. But if we click on the snatches, and you look towards the bottom, when I figured out, I thought this was like per session, or I wasn't really sure what the numbers at the bottom meant, but I realized through just thinking for more than 3 seconds about it that it's the weeks below. So you can see the volume in reps. This will be the highest rep week for snatches, and then it will gradually decrease in kind of a linear way down to like that week 8 peak. My competition that I have on the 21st of May, I think will be in that week 7 or week 6, so I may adjust some things around that time just to make sure I'm not doing, snatch triples the day before I have my competition. But clean and jerks kind of do the same thing. Squats kind of do a similar thing. Pulls, pretty similar. It's pretty interesting. I think week 5 is kind of that deload. You see everything kind of drop off and then raise back up there. So actually might be a good, because I think week 6 is about when my competition will be. So having the week 5 deload and maybe between week 6 and 7, I don't know, figuring out something in that time frame to allow myself to peak for the competition. But I found that pretty interesting. So if we click back up here, you can see kind of the quadriles. I forget what this is mathematical concept is called, but it's kind of like the mean median of the different weeks of the intensity zones. So you can see like the first week, the intensity is a pretty, I assume that the 110 is, oh yeah, it's just the weights that are over there. Okay, I'm overthinking the percentages on the side. They're not percentages, they're the absolute weight. So that you can see the medium weight and then the top end and the low end of the weights I'll be working with this week because the reps are the highest, the weight's the lowest, and you see it kind of moves around in those different weeks to the last week where it is the highest. So that'll be kind of interesting. I haven't decided yet if I just kind of want to train through this competition, just kind of do whatever, or if I want to really push hard to kind of like deload and stuff with that. I guess it depends how I feel during training, so it'll be interesting to see how I feel during that week and to kind of preview week 6 or whenever, week 6 or 7, whatever that is, and to see how things are feeling, how things are going with that week, how it looks, how I'm feeling physically, if I'm ready to go or whatever with that. But we'll see. I like the program so far and kind of want to stick to it as much as I can, so we'll see how that works. But this is the end of week 1. The next video you'll see will be the beginning of week 2.